Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to cover September 2016, which we are just heading into after our somewhat underwhelming first month in charge. This month we'll be covering, it looks like, five league games and a cup game. So first up we are going to be playing against Chindia, who are currently in third position. Then we will be playing a currently unknown opponent in the Romanian Cup 5th round, followed by Forestra Sosiva at home, then Desia Unaria away, then Sepse Osk at home, and we wind up with another home game against ACS Bersene. So I think I'll change the format a little bit, because we don't want the video to run on too long. I will basically cover the key things that happen throughout the month and the tactics going into each game and the goals within the game itself or any other key moments. We'll cut out all of the mints in between. So based on that, we shall move along and let's see what happens next. So it's now time for the Romanian Cup 5th round draw. Quite a number of fixtures to fill in here. There aren't any larger teams in the draw as far as I can tell. Seems to be still limited to the second division and below, so let's put it in automatic draw and see who we get. I'm hoping obviously to get a non-league team basically to give me the best chance of progressing to the next round. Well, we came out of the bag last, and we will be playing against CSM Oltenita, and they're in the third league, and they have a squad, so they aren't just grayed out guys, so they should be beatable, but they might prove a little bit more of a challenge than I would like. But yeah, we should be able to progress to the next round, all things going well. A little bit of a board confidence update. So, to summarise, the board are satisfied with my management of the team so far, and it is stable at 53%. The board feel that the decision to sign Cosmin Stegaru is an extremely good financial deal for the club, and their main complaint is I'm spending too much in wages. So my strategy at the moment is I cannot keep the team up with the wage budget they've allocated. Well, cannot is maybe a stretch. It's going to be difficult to keep the team up on that budget. I'm going to try to basically have a race to the bottom with the chairman. So what that means is he going to sack me over poor wage management first, or is he going to get bankrupt and have to sell the club first? So I may make more signings to move things along, but probably not in this transfer window. We'll wait to see how we're doing in January. The thing the board are most happy about, squad harmonies at 58%. Matches are at 64%, even though we've not really achieved very much in that area. And transfers is at 66%, and I'm not surprised about that, as you could sign a traffic cone and it would have been an improvement in the squad we inherited. So that is our board confidence update for the beginning of September. So first up we're playing against Chindia, so China and India have banded together to make waves in the Romanian second division. And we're playing at home. I've made one change to the lineup. Elvis has came back in at left back. I think he needs game time basically to build him up. That's why we're putting him in. Let's see how we get on. The media have decided it will be a close encounter today, but I think Chindia will come out victorious. Well, the league table probably doesn't lie. We are just outside the relegation zone right now. I'm hoping that we can get something from this match. It looks like Chindia score a lot of their goals in the late stages of each half, and that's actually where we're quite weak as well, I've noticed, so it's not looking good for us. One 0 to us after 7 minutes. It's our new signing Anderson that got the goal. Oh, we conceded a very soft goal there, so we've really been pegged back right away. Anderson got his second of the game after 36 minutes. It was a nice little 1-2 manoeuvre there. And a hat trick before half time. Certainly showing that he's worth his wages. So half time, central defence is leaky. I will probably start looking at experimenting with a 5-3-2. I don't really have a wing back for the right hand side, so which is a concern, but central defence is getting caught out all the time. Anderson is an excellent player. I'm glad I've signed him. He's currently sitting at a 9.5 at half time. We're not going to make any changes, but I will probably have to at some point during the second half, when we will inevitably concede a second goal. And 4-1, I am absolutely shocked and stunned. And it was Anderson that got the fourth goal. And the other side pegged one back, fairly inevitable. I'm of two minds. When I'm winning 4-1, 4-2, the tendency is to not want to change anything. But when you concede soft goals, you start to worry about how firm things actually are in defence. So, full time, 4-2. My assistant's delighted, my players are delighted, and I am delighted. It was an unexpected victory. I'm extremely pleased with my new striker, Anderson, who got 4 goals, all 4 of them, and got a full-time rating of 9.8. And it's very rare to see a guy with a rating that high. So some of the other player ratings do kind of hide some faults. I've been complaining about my central defence for a while, yet they're sitting there with 7.5 and 7.1 ratings. And the lowest we have is a couple of guys on 6.7, Elvis and Giggle there. Giggle? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. They're both in 6.7, as is Razvan Dulap. However, moving on, our next match should be our cup game. And as a result of that match, we've now moved up to mid-table. We're now 9th on 7 points, and we're 3 points clear of the drop zone. Every point counts when you're battling against relegation, so if we can keep around mid-table, I will be absolutely ecstatic. Now, just a follow-up to that last match. The 4 goals scored by Anderson at home to Chindia has set a new team and Romanian second league record high. The previous Pancota record was held by Doranil Popa, who scored 1 at home to Olympia SM. So I guess we've got a very poor scoring record historically. The previous Liga 2 record was held by Robert Grumazescu, who has scored 3 at home to ASU Poly in 2016. Okay, so essentially we don't have the records for this division and the teams in it, so 4 is now the new record to beat. So our transfer deadline has slammed shut just before our cup match. Just going to quickly cover off the major transfers in the world. Basically, Not too much that we have changed from last episode. We have Mauro Icardi, who has moved from Inter Milan to Chelsea for 24.5 million, with add-ons that could go up to 37 million. So he's obviously the big mover of this transfer window. Nothing else there really to talk about. Nacho has gone from Real Madrid to Tottenham. That seems to be pretty much it in terms of noteworthy moves. Alright, time for our cup game against CSM Ultianita. We've made one change in our lineup. Our mentality is going to be attacking, and we've brought back Cornell Koch at left back. Elvis has been left back in the dressing room. So we're going to, in fact, we'll give Berahim Sarr a game in midfield so he doesn't start getting upset about lack of playing time. And yeah, we'll put Dimitru Mitu, our 41-year-old, on as well. So we'll rotate the squad a little bit because it is a lower league team we're up against, and we will see how we get on. One 0. Anderson's the man. So 1-0 at half time. My team are performing pretty averagely, but we're in the lead. I would have liked a bigger cushion, but you always want a bigger cushion. So 1-0 is sufficient to get us through. Let's hope it stays like that for the next 45 minutes. So 1-0 at full time. Rather dull and uneventful match, but I would rather have dull and uneventful and victorious than exciting defeats. Nothing much to write home about there. Our central defence was a lot better than it has been recently, so I was happy with that. Our only left midfielder picked up an injury. We'll have to work around it, but that's life. You take the bad with the good. So for the third game of the month, we are up against Forestra Suseva. Due to our lack of wide options, I have went with a 4-3-3 essentially. Well, it's a 4-3-1-2, but really it's a 4-3-3, given that our attacking midfielder will be playing as a shadow striker. I had a look at 5-3-2, but I don't have any wing backs in the squad, so that put an end to that idea. I have basically got attacking forward, deep lying forward, shadow striker up front, ball winning midfielders, 2 central midfielders, and defenders. Maybe I should go with. Oh, yeah, I will go with standard instead of attacking. Okay, here we go. One 0. It's Slitty Tater. after 33 minutes. "35 minutes gone, and Anderson's got his 8th goal of the season to make it 2-0. "3-0, and it's Sue with his 3rd goal of the season from the edge of the box. Really good first half there. 3-0 up at half time. I'm not going to make any changes because I'm going to try to start to introduce some tactical stability to the team. I think it would be beneficial. So 3-0. Another 45 minutes still to play. "4-0 right after the start of the second half. It's Mito gets his 1st goal of the season. Not bad for a 41-year-old. "4-1, and I don't think there's anything that anybody could have done to stop that. 4-2, and now we're starting to look a little bit leaky. So we're going to tell our players to concentrate. 4-2 full time. Good result. We are struggling a little bit with complacency when we get ahead. And I've never really worked out how to address that effectively in the Football Manager series. What I've been using recently is basically shouting at the players when we start conceding chances. I suppose one solution is to switch to more defensive formations once you get a lead. But then you need to balance how big a cushion you've built up and the turning point at which your team decides they've did enough and sit back and take the foot off the gas, so to speak. But hey, 4-2, 3 points in the bag. It takes us up to 5th position, which is a lofty height that I didn't think we would actually see this season. I hope we can maintain this run of form, obviously. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, it's time for the Romanian Cup 6th round draw. It looks like the big boys are now in the pot for this round. So let's see who our next victim is. Okay, so we have been drawn out the hat at home against League 1 ACS Poly Timisoara. They are a professional team with a national reputation and okay finances. They are currently at the bottom of League 1. So if we ever had the chance to punch above our weight, this is the team that we would do it against. They've got minus 13 points, so they've had some sort of penalty handed out to them. I wonder if we can dig into that and find out what it's about. Alright, I've done a little bit of digging. So it looks like ACS Poly essentially replaced Rapid Bucharest after Rapid Bucharest went bankrupt. And for some reason, they have been given a penalty at the start of the season to have to contend with, possibly due to financial problems of their own, although in this game they seem to have okay finances. So there you go. We will be up against a team that are on the decline in the 6th round of the Cup, and we'll be looking to hopefully do a little bit of giant killing, but if we fail, then you know what? We've already hit our target for that particular competition, so I'm not too worried about it. This is interesting. I've never seen this before. ACS Poly have made an offer of 1.7k to buy home advantage in their 6th round match. If the match is switched, ticket sales for the tie are expected to increase by approximately 7k due to the increase in attendance. Both teams share the money equally. Well, sounds like a win-win to me. We're now playing away from home in the Cup. Okay, we're now playing against Dacia Unaria in the second league. A win will potentially take us up into the playoff or maybe even automatic promotion slots, depending on how other results go. The press don't fancy us. I think we might struggle here, but we are on a 6-match unbeaten run, so it'd be great if we can somehow scrape something out of this game. Tactically, we're not going to make any changes. I think upsetting the apple cart at this point will just basically guarantee a defeat here. So we're going to go with what we are familiar with, and hopefully we can scrape something. If not, I won't be too disappointed. One 0 down after 15 minutes. I can't say that I'm surprised, to be honest, but it would have been nice to have held out a little bit longer. 1 0 down at half time. We're not really making too many chances, and we are in danger of the game getting away from us now. This thing keeps switching back to attacking. I find that very annoying. But to be fair, we still need to attack. Otherwise, we're not going to score. I'll leave it as it is. At the start of this game, I would have accepted a 1-0 defeat as being probably about right, based on the team we're facing. So, let's get it over with. Two 0 down. I think that was fairly inevitable, and the game really is getting away from us now, unfortunately. 3-0. Our defence is butter to the opposition's knife. Well, a 3-0 defeat. I think we all knew it was coming. The team didn't play particularly well, so the only thing to do is really pick up the pieces and have a look at how we play the next match. In fairness, we haven't dropped down too badly. However, there is only a difference of 3 points between ourselves and the 10 places below us, so anything can still happen at this stage of the season. So here we are, we're up against Sepsi OSK. They are currently 17th in the table, so we should be looking to take something from this game. I have moved around our central midfielders a little bit. Our mentality is now standard, and our team shape, I've moved it from fluid to flexible, and hopefully that will help our team maintain their shape throughout the match. So we're going to go with this. I know it's perhaps not the drastic change you might expect off the back of a 3-0 defeat, but I did want to go for a bit more tactical consistency. So we're going to continue going down that route. We'll see what happens. So, nothing each at half time. Let's hope the second half brings us some highlights that are worth watching. Okay, so we've just watched the match between Dull and Boring. It was nothing each. There were very, very few chances. Allegedly with 18 shots, and the opposition had 6, but only 2 were in target. And I got the highlights for them, but they weren't even worth showing. And we'd one clear-cut chance that we made a mess of, and neither side had any corners. So, I'm afraid that was a bit of a washout, that particular game. However, another point in the bag. Another point towards ultimate safety. Okay, it's time for the final game of the month. We are up against ACS Bersini. They are currently sitting in 18th. So just like the previous fixture, I will be hoping to take something from the game. So in terms of tactics, we have been forced to make a change. Tader is suspended, so we brought on Vlad the Impaler in centre midfield. He'll be playing a defensive midfield role, ball-winning midfielder role. We'll see how he gets on with that. I've also decided to experiment with shorter passing, so we'll see if that has any beneficial impact on our performance. Interestingly, the press think that we will have too much quality for ECS Bersini, which is not the tune they were playing at the start of the season, that's for sure. One 0 and Anderson gets the goal after 27 minutes. It's his 9th of the season. So half time, we're 1-0 up. Vlad is a little bit under-conditioned for this particular match, but we'll persevere with him. He needs some playing time. Beyond that, quite happy with that. Two 0 and Anderson scores after 51 minutes. And Vlad Impaler has been sent off, so we're going to have to pull somebody back into centre midfield to cope with that gap. So 2-0, 3 points in the bag, a good result, and Anderson's back in form, which is extremely important to us. It takes us back up to 7th in the table. So let's take a look around the world and see how things are sitting at the end of September. So I'll give you a quick look at the biggest sides in the world. Interestingly, even though we're only 2 months into the game, we do have some changes. Tottenham have moved up a space. They've overtaken Benfica and AC Milan. But top of the charts, no surprise, Barcelona and Real Madrid, they're as usual, and they're followed in third place by Atletico Madrid. This is ordered by reputation. Looking at the top leagues, we've got in Spain, Barcelona are top of La Liga. After 5 games, they've got 13 points. Real Madrid are only 5th with 11 points. Both teams are undefeated, so that just goes to show that the top is actually quite tight. Down the bottom, we have 3 teams, Leganes, Sporting and Alaves, with 0 points. Yet to record any victories or draws there. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, unsurprisingly, up the top with a 100% record, 15 points from 5 games. They are followed by Stoke, then Wolfsburg and Leverkusen on 12, 10 and 10 respectively. English Premier League, Arsenal surprisingly top the table with 13 points. Arsene Wenger will be happy about that. Stoke, amazingly, in second position with 12. It is early days, of course, so there's a long way to go, and we could see Stoke drop down. Reigning champions, Leicester, down in 8th position. And maybe slight surprises with Liverpool and Tottenham. They are 12th and 13th, respectively. And Manchester City are 10th. In France, Paris Saint-Germain sitting top, 16 points after 6 games. Stade Rennais, Lyon on 15. Bastia on 13, Monaco on 12. And down the bottom, Bordeaux on 3 points, along with Nancy-Lorraine. In Portugal, Benfica top the table with 14 points, but they've played 6. Porto are right behind them at 13 points with a game in hand, as are Sporting Lisbon. In the Netherlands, we have Ajax and Feyenoord both sitting pretty with 17 points after 7 games. PSV starting to lag a little behind them in 13, really heading up that kind of second tier pack in that division. FC Twente rock bottom with only 1 point to show from 7 matches. In Scotland, because I've got to cover Scotland, Aberdeen are up the top this month. They've got 12 points. They've leapfrogged both Hamilton and Celtic since we last looked at it. Celtic remain in second place. They've got 11 points. And at the foot of the table, we have 3 teams in 5 points. They are Hearts, Kilmarnock and Motherwell. Interestingly, Rangers, obviously a sleeping giant in recent seasons, coming back up through the ranks, through the divisions. They are sitting mid-table at 7th with 8 points. So that's it for this episode. Next time around, we are looking at October, and we will be playing a number of matches by the looks of it. I might even split it into 2 episodes. We'll have to wait and see. We are looking forward to matches against Terlingene, CS Afumate, Juventus Bucharest, Academica Clinceni, and D. Calarasi. And not last but not least, we have our cup game against ACS Poly, which should be quite interesting. And we should be winding up with an away game against CS Miovene. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe.